We left off last time with Naruto learning Sage Mode after the death of Jiraiya and Itachi's death to the hands of Sasuke, with Itachi pretty much telling him that he was proud of him, and Sasuke not exactly being a fan of that, considering that his brother did kind of massacre his entire clan, but hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who has his whole family intact. Anyways, point being, after Sasuke would finally defeat Itachi, I can see two things happening. One, either Obito would arrive and try to capture him, or two, Obito wouldn't arrive. I mean, there's literally only two possibilities. But for the sake of this story, I decided to go with Obito actually arriving. Now, this would mean that we would get a scene similar to this. Finally, he's dead. Now I don't have to worry about him. Now that I've crossed him off the list, I can finally focus on Naruto. It's gonna feel really good when I kill that immortal bastard. Still kinda gotta work out the details, but he'll be dead soon. I'm coming for you, Naruto, Sasuke would think, as Sasuke would stare at the body of his bloodied and dead beat brother Itachi. It'd be at this point that Sasuke would look up, seeing a swirly-like portal appear in front of him, and Obito would step out. At this point, Sasuke seeing this wouldn't exactly know how to react, considering the fact that he was drained from his previous fight with his brother, and so, the second that Obito would arrive, Sasuke would be heavily on guard, with Obito pretty much telling him that he can drop the act, that he knows he's drained of chakra, and if he wanted to kill him, he would have already done so. It'd be at this point that Sasuke would ask who he is, with Obito pretty much saying that he knows exactly who he is, staring at Sasuke with his mask and his Sharingan. Sasuke seeing this would wonder who this is, with him thinking that it couldn't be who he's thinking. To this point, Obito would say that his name is Madara Uchiha. After this would happen, Sasuke would ask him how it's possible that he could even be alive, as Obito would say that that's for him to know. But then Obito would say that he does have something he could tell Sasuke, telling him the truth about Itachi and why he killed the clan. Sasuke hearing this would be extremely intrigued, as Obito would say, "And I don't only have that, I'm here to offer a partnership," telling Sasuke that their goals align very similarly, saying that he also wants to kill, or more specifically, capture Naruto, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Sasuke hearing this would wonder what exactly everyone wants with Naruto, and Obito says that all he wants is the tailed beast inside of him. After that, he's free to do whatever he pleases with Naruto. As Sasuke hearing this, being intrigued by the prospect of killing Naruto and learning more about his brother, would easily accept going with Obito, as he would then end up joining the Akatsuki a lot differently than he would have in the original, but he would still join nonetheless. Meanwhile, as this is all happening, Naruto would pretty much be on the other side of the world training Sage Mode, and when Naruto would finally be done, Naruto would find himself in a destroyed village with rubble all over and dead people everywhere. As Naruto would see this, he would look up into the sky as he would see a man with orange hair with a weird black and red cloak. Naruto noticing this would realize that it was the Akatsuki, and Naruto would get pissed, before then suddenly a Chidori would come crashing towards his direction as it would land on Naruto, sending him crashing into a building, and Naruto would look up to see none other than Sasuke Uchiha. Now let me explain why it is that Sasuke would be here. Sasuke's whole goal is to literally kill Naruto. So when Sasuke would find out the fact that Nagato, or more specifically Pain, would be going after the village to hunt Naruto down, Sasuke's not exactly going to be okay with that, and he's going to want to tag along. So it's not just going to be Pain who's here, but Sasuke, who would pretty much be tasked with bringing Naruto to the Akatsuki themselves, and Pain would have simply been there to deliver a message or get his get back on the village that cost him so much. That being said, Naruto seeing Sasuke here would be absolutely stunned, as Sasuke would pretty much see Naruto get up from the rubble, as he would ask him why he looks so surprised, saying that he should have done this sooner, as Naruto at this point would just stare at Sasuke and crack his neck, telling him that he's honestly not surprised. He's just shocked at how soon Sasuke ended up jumping to such measures, saying that he always was weak and needed to rely on others, bringing up Orochimaru as he would go on to tell Sasuke that he's always been weak and he's never been able to do things on his own. At this point, Sasuke would get triggered and he would rush in towards the direction of Naruto, Sharingan in their Mangekyo Sharingan state, not the EMS because he still hasn't changed the eyes with his older brother, because he still hasn't even caused the Mangekyo Sharingan to go like dull. But speaking of Mangekyo, this is something that he's actually had ever since Naruto came to the village and a bit before then, having gotten into crazy life-threatening situations for missions for Danzo. That said, we would pretty much end up getting a battle between Sasuke and Naruto, and it would be purely taijutsu based. Sasuke using his Mangekyo Sharingan in tandem with his curse mark abilities that he would have gotten from Orochimaru would be holding Naruto off like it's nobody's business, with Sasuke actually thinking that they're about equal because Naruto would currently be in his Jashin state, with Sasuke knowing that that's Naruto's strongest form. Leaping back, Sasuke would question Naruto why he's holding back on him, as Naruto would say he was just testing the waters before activating the amount of chakra that he could access from Kurama and tapping into the power of the four tails. From this point, four tails would appear behind Naruto, obviously I don't know why I had to say that, and Naruto's eyes would shift as Sasuke would see the form that had defeated him previously in the Valley of the End, where he had last fought Naruto. At this point, Sasuke would end up activating the ability of the Susanoo as he would go to attack Naruto, trying to crush him with his skeleton fist, but he would actually end up missing, and Naruto leaping up into the air using his scythe would actually go slashing it down on Sasuke, as Sasuke would dodge out of the way and Naruto and Sasuke would be in a bit of a standstill. From here though, Naruto would start to get serious, noticing that Sasuke really has gotten stronger, and a lot if he does have to say so himself. Sasuke would rush in, clashing with Naruto with a Rasengan and Onyx Chidori. At this point, both of them would clash and Sasuke would be sent flying back, as Naruto would rush in about to land a blow on Sasuke, but it would be at this point that Pain would use the almighty push on Naruto, sending him flying back, as Sasuke would bark at Pain, telling him, "Why the hell did you get involved in my fight?" as he would tell him that he's doing this on his own and to not interfere again. As Sasuke would watch Naruto stand back up, as Sasuke would shoot a lightning style jutsu up into the clouds. This would go on to create a bunch of like rainy clouds, as the whole atmosphere would change. Now it's a village with rubble and it'd be raining, and like you would just see like thunder up in the air, is like it's just crackling in the sky, and Sasuke would be looking at Naruto, looking down on him, pretty much confident in his victory, having not only the fact that right now he feels like he's on top of Naruto, but the fact that even if Naruto could manage to do something, he has the ability of Izanagi. That said, Naruto would weave hand signs behind his back as he would say, "Bringer of Darkness Jutsu," to which at this point Sasuke's eyes would go completely dark, as Sasuke would remember how this had happened to him in the previous fight. And Sasuke would feel pissed, feeling a snake beginning to crawl up on him, as Sasuke would never have been privy to the fact that Naruto had a summon with him the whole time. Icarus would be there, and he would crawl on Sasuke, restraining him perfectly, leaving no openings for Sasuke to escape, as he would coil around him like an anaconda, as Naruto, rushing towards the direction of Sasuke with his scythe, would rush in and be about to kill him, when suddenly Pain would get involved in the fight and would block the attack for Sasuke, who couldn't move, as one of the paths of Pain would end up freeing Sasuke by attacking Icarus, causing Sasuke to have just enough time to break out of Icarus's grasp, as he would snap out of the Bringer of Darkness jutsu almost immediately, as Sasuke would look up towards the direction of Pain, enraged at the fact that he just got involved in his battle after he literally specifically told him not to do this, saying that he had him right where he wanted him. Naruto, hearing this, would be absolutely confused at what Sasuke is even talking about, not being aware of the fact that Sasuke has 3 more Sharingan embedded in his arm, thanks to, Danzo, who's given him that, when they used to work together. But regardless, that put to the side, Pain would look at the direction of Sasuke and tell him that that's foolish, as Naruto would be facing off against 5 paths of pain, as Naruto would handle them thinking that they're a huge pain in the butt, but ultimately he has to. I could see Naruto ultimately destroying the path of pain that's able to shoot a bunch of rockets and stuff like that, and all the rest of them are just doing their best to pretty much make things impossible for Naruto. Naruto, while he's facing them, is doing his best to pretty much buy time for himself. As Sasuke and Pain would be arguing, Pain would tell him it's foolish, as Sasuke would end up pretty much telling him not to get involved again. And from here, Naruto would now have the paths of pain and Sasuke attacking him at the same time. Naruto at this point would proceed to essentially use the gaslight no jutsu, which is really funny, but pretty much he would start gaslighting Sasuke, trying to get him to betray Pain, saying that he doesn't respect him, and he didn't know that even still he had to rely on others, saying that his point really does stand and Sasuke hasn't changed. To this point, Sasuke would get enraged and he would turn on one of the paths of pain, specifically the one that could summon animals, as Sasuke with an Onyx Chidori would proceed to destroy it, as it would be caught off guard by Sasuke's ultimate betrayal. At this point, the battle would change and it would become a 1v1v4, as it would now be the paths of pain versus Sasuke and Naruto. At this point, Naruto and Sasuke would proceed to take them out first, wanting to clear the deck a little bit, as both of them would pretty much be willing to take the first opportunity they can to backstab each other and try to land an attack on each other and pretty much fight the paths of pain. They would destroy one each individually, and after they would pretend to go and attack one, but they'd then shoot an attack at each other, and the battle would be very complicated because even though they're taking out paths of pain, they would take breaks to just straight up fight each other, and then the paths of pain come flying in. You got the diva path shooting Shinra Tenseis, you got this dude pretty much pushing and pulling them, you got Sasuke's Chidoris, this dude's creating a couple of shadow clones, we got Naruto creating an army of them to face off against Pain and stuff like that. It's just a crazy looking battle, but ultimately they would end up destroying every single path of pain, with the diva path being included in this, thanks to Naruto taking things seriously and ultimately shattering it, as Sasuke would be stunned at his power, realizing that he needs to use his trump card now. It'd be at this point that Sasuke would say that he developed a jutsu that's going to be capable of stunning him long enough for Sasuke to deliver a blow to eradicate him. With nothing left, his immortality won't save him, as at this point Sasuke would get some space, creating clones to hold Naruto off, as Naruto would look up into the air and almost instantaneously a lightning dragon would come down on Naruto, as it would hit him point blank. As this happens, Sasuke would rush in towards the direction of Naruto, trying to land a killing blow on him, which would essentially be an Amaterasu blast point blank. But Naruto would have actually been completely immune to the effects of Kirin, as Naruto would counter Sasuke, telling him that he didn't want to do this, as he would bend Sasuke, grabbing his arm before breaking it instantly and pretty much telling Icarus to leech onto Sasuke. Icarus would restrain Sasuke by the legs, as Naruto with his scythe in one swell swoop would just cut Sasuke's head off as it would hit the ground. Naruto at this point would feel bad that he had to do that, but it would be at this point that Sasuke would come rushing back in, as he would try using his Amaterasu to shock Naruto, but it'd be at this point that Icarus would leap in the way, tanking the Amaterasu blast full on, meaning that Icarus literally just dies. This beast of a character that I introduced ends up sacrificing himself for Naruto, as Naruto seeing this happen would get royally pissed. This man just sighs and he realizes that Sasuke has some sort of immortality too, as Naruto would turn to Sasuke simply asking how many extra lives he has. Sasuke at this point would lie to Naruto, as Naruto would smile and say, "Good, because that just means I get to kill you over and over for what you just did to Icarus." Blitzing towards the direction of Sasuke, having activated Sage Mode, which mind you, he hadn't done that entire time, would proceed to absolutely massacre Sasuke over and over and over again. Think back to what Sasuke did to Danzo when Danzo stood absolutely no chance. That's exactly what would happen, and with his last life supposedly, Naruto would hold his blade to Sasuke's neck, telling him that if he moves a muscle, he's dead. Seeing this battle go on, Sakura from the distance would run in, pretty much like being like, "No, Naruto, you can't kill him." You know, like remember what happened on when they fought on the rooftop in part 1 of Shippuden, or sorry, not Shippuden, but Shonen Jump. Wait, no, it's not called Shonen Jump, just part 1 Naruto. Anyways, that being the case, Sakura would actually end up distracting Naruto for literally just a split second, but that would give Sasuke just enough time to reverse summon himself out of there. And we know Sasuke could do that because he did that in the midst of a massive explosion that Deidara would have used when he fought against him. And so you would pretty much just see Naruto turning to see that Sasuke had disappeared and staring daggers at Sakura, as Naruto would proceed to go off on her, pretty much telling her that she's a waste of a shinobi and that she's a piece of garbage and she shouldn't have even been on the battlefield if all she was gonna be is a massive crutch. At this point, Sakura would look down, being saddened at what Naruto was telling her, as she would realize that he's right, but a part of her would be glad that she did it because Sasuke's still alive, right? He's gonna come back. After all, Sakura had thought that they were getting somewhere. I mean, this whole time, it's not like Sasuke was gone and she hadn't had him in her life. This time he was there. Even if they didn't talk, at least he was there. But what Naruto was gonna do is get rid of him. And so, Naruto, after this would happen, would pretty much end up telling Sakura to get lost, as she would like pretty much end up walking off, and you would just see Naruto picking up one of the rods of pain as he would trace it back to where Nagato would be at. And from here, we pretty much just get a scene of Naruto speed blitzing towards the direction of Nagato's location. Once he would end up arriving there, Naruto would not be playing any games, smashing a hole through the hideout, as Naruto would be face to face with Nagato, telling Nagato that his organization has a lot of nerve. First, they took his sensei. Then, they killed his friends, and to top it all off, they destroyed his village. Naruto at this point would stare at Nagato with bloodlust in his eyes, as he would go on to say some really cool, probably generic one-liner about how death has come for him or something like that, and then would pretty much proceed to speed blitz towards him. I could see Konan trying to get in the way, but Naruto's not having any of it. He would rip her to shreds by slicing her multiple times with his scythe, as he would now stand face to face with Nagato, who wasn't even putting up any resistance, pretty much just monologuing for his last couple of seconds, telling Naruto that the world is unfair and that he was simply getting his revenge. But Naruto, hearing this, would simply say, "Tell that to someone who cares," as he would cut Nagato's head clean off of his body before then using a fire style jutsu to completely decimate Nagato's head with his Rinnegan, as he would say, "That was for Kakashi." And from here, Naruto would leave that hideout, as this is going to be having massive repercussions to the story of Naruto. Because not only does this mean that nobody gets revived in this timeline of events, but this also means that Obito's not going to be having access to the Rinnegan, and there's literally no other way to get the Rinnegan. So when Obito finds out about this, he is going to be livid. That said though, Naruto would have returned to the village, and I want to just quickly add this random scene that I thought of. Naruto, while he's there looking at all the dead bodies, would end up going into a trance, similar to when he ends up seeing the nine-tailed fox. But Naruto, this time for the first time ever, could almost feel that he was physically somewhere, some place that didn't feel like his realm, a place that felt different but the same, all at the same time. Naruto couldn't put a finger on it. It's almost as if reality itself is where Naruto had transcended. But Naruto would see this gigantic being that looks terrifying. Jashin himself would stand in front of him, as he would have a terrifying smile, essentially telling Naruto that he's pleased with his sacrifices. Think solo leveling in that gigantic statue that smiles like a creep. That said, Naruto staring back at it would pretty much end up telling Jashin to go to hell, as he would tell him that he's nobody's pawn, and that none of these corpses are a sacrifice to him. As Jashin's smile would slightly turn into a frown, and Naruto would fade back into consciousness.